Good evening and happy holidays from East Lansing. You bet, Michigan State's fans in the holiday spirit, and why not? We have BTN basketball tonight coming up. Cassius Winston leads the Big Ten in assists at around 8 per game. Scored 19 points when these two teams met last year. It's the 10th-ranked Michigan State Spartans against the Oakland Golden Grizzlies coming up here tonight on BTN. Alongside Sean Morris, I'm Corey Provis, and last time the Spartans played, they beat Green Bay here, Sean, and that man played awfully well.
After a slow start, the Spartans were able to establish Nick Ward, and that is a significant understatement. You see the efficiency with which he put up those 28 points, also contributed 9 rebounds. Very impressively as well. Corey ran the floor, showing you why he is third in the conference in field goal percentage is 68%.
As for the starting lineups here tonight, no surprises. Matt McQuaid again starting, second straight game he's starting since coming back from the injury. As for the Golden Grizzlies, Xavier Hill-Mays leads this team in scoring at nearly 23 points per game. It's a team that will shoot the three early and often tonight. Meanwhile, the strength for this Michigan State team, Sean, once again has been passing the basketball.
38 made field goals last time out versus the Phoenix of Green Bay. You see the 31 assists, 12 coming from that young man, Cassius Winston, who had 12 assists, only 2 miscues in that ball game.
This is the 17th all-time meeting, and Michigan State has yet to lose to the Golden Grizzlies, a perfect 16-0. And there have been some very competitive games in years past, but this is a different Oakland team. And we'll talk more about that as we move along here tonight. And you already see a spirited Greg Kampe. And we haven't even tipped the ball up yet. And the opening tap is controlled by Braden Norris. Underway here at the Breslin Center.
Little stagger screen, trying to free up one of those three-point shooters. Good job by Michigan State of remembering the scouting report, getting over the top.
Oakland is averaging 11 made threes per game, 10th best in the country.
And they make 42% of their offerings as a squad. That's outstanding.
This is Hill-Mays, met by Ward up top. Late clock, it's a 3. Does he see it? Norris has to let it fly from 30 feet. Too strong, and the rebound to Langford and a foul.
And expect Oakland, when they do have the ball, Corey, to go as deep in the shot clock as possible. They know that they don't have the depth to get up and down the floor with these Michigan State Spartans.
And there is Tom Izzo closing in on 600 wins. We'll talk more about his message to his team following the game on Sunday and the win here against Green Bay throughout the night. Down low, Nick Ward, strong, and a miss, a rare miss around the rim for Ward.
Yeah, it's very unusual that you dodge one when you allow Ward to get that close to the rim, and more importantly, turn over that right shoulder going to the left hand.
And that's a significant advantage for Michigan State, the size they will throw at Oakland throughout the game. There's Hill-Mays against Ward. Good defense, and grabs the rebound.
Nice job by Ward of not going for the up and under.
Now Langford skips it in the corner. This is a 3 from the wing.
And even though Ward didn't score there, Corey, because he did a strong rim run, it forced Oakland to collapse. They were in a scramble situation. That allowed the skip over to the top to McQuaid. It started with Ward on the defensive end and his willingness to run the floor.
McQuaid at 39% from beyond the arc, and that's way off from Hill-Mays and now Winston. This is where he is so dangerous. Now pulls up Goins. He'll pop for 3. Great start for Michigan State as Goins knocks down just his 6th made 3 all year.
21% coming into this ball game. He's one of my favorite players in the conference. He's overcome so much, really being productive, especially on the glass. 3rd in the conference in rebound.
Did not score, but speaking of his rebounding skills, had 9 rebounds despite a scoreless effort against Green Bay on Sunday. Another miss inside, so Hill-Mays, he's not shy, now a foul. So beyond Hill-Mays, his first team second as we go back to the 3 from McQuaid a moment ago.
Now watch number 44 in green. He's going to sprint. That draws all the Golden Grizzlies. They know they have to get back. Look, 3 guys collapse. That allows the kick over the top. No one's able to recover. McQuaid able to get his feet set and knock it down.
And now a strip and a steal. Freshman Braden Norris, Hilliard, Ohio. Looks around a couple of defenders. Nice feed to Breckling off the glass, and that one goes.
Braden Norris has had an outstanding freshman season so far for the Golden Grizzlies. Really efficient with the ball. How about 62 assists, only 17 turnovers.
Another steal, and the officials chat, and let's see, and they're going to award the ball to Oakland. Another good play from Norris. Well, Tom Izzo's been here for a long time, but Greg Campy's been at Oakland longer. Now 35 years in the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame back in 2017.
Two-sport athlete at Bowling Green, and these two coaches tonight, Corey, not going to find two better guys. Just really quality people. Enjoy spending time with each one.
Directing the handoff to Norris.
Good help by Goins.
Austin Lawyer to the game for Michigan State, the freshman. Mays got Ward up, and he missed that one. That's when he's got a hit.
Yep. Especially when you get Ward to bite on that up and under fake.
Quaid met by Maddox. Well, Mays already one foul. Goins against him, and smooth, soft touch with the right hand. 6'7", 230. Goins is 5 of the first 8. Michigan State lead is 6. Directing. Shot clock now at 10.
Nice scrape by Langford, forced Hill Mays to give it up.
Cumberland lets it fly, and that one goes. Javen Cumberland, redshirt junior, 44% from beyond the arc.
Missed a lot of last year with a foot injury, but doing a nice job picking up as he's gotten healthy, as you mentioned, averaging about 3 made threes per ball game.
Limited last year due to a chronic ankle injury. He leads the Horizon League in three-point shooting percentage, and we see why. Here's Ward along the baseline. Shoots over Brechting, and that one rattles in.
And that's nice if Ward can hit that, because what you saw when you inside pivot, Corey, Brechting has to remove that arm bar by rule. So now the defender is really in no man's land. If you put it on the floor, he might foul you. If you can hit that mid-range jump shot, you're almost impossible to guard in that short corner.
So the shooting percentage for Ward here at home, 85%. Brechting will try. That was way off. And now Lawyer. Feeds Ward. And tripped, and a foul. Called on Brad Brechting. Redshirt junior picks up his first and team foul number 3. We'll take our first time out. Michigan State by 5. Happy holidays here on BTN. 4.5 minutes gone by here in East Lansing. Michigan State leading Oakland by a score of 10-5. With that, we welcome you courtside, everybody, alongside Sean Morris. I'm Corey Probus. Again, happy holidays. And last time Michigan State played, they won, put up 104 and a 104-83 win here on Sunday against Green Bay. Still, the message from Tom Izzo following that game was, we're going to practice. We're going to practice a lot.
The only guy that would have been happy hearing that would have been Allen Iverson. We're talking about practice. But what they've done is they've gotten off to an outstanding start here. The thing that I think concerned Coach Izzo in the last outing was the fact that Green Bay was able to get comfortable on the offensive end of the floor. Thus far, the visitors from Oakland have not enjoyed that same opportunity.
Winston back in, misses the 3, but there's the offensive rebound.
One thing that has certainly carried over, 4 made field goals for the Spartans in the early going, Corey. 3 rather via the assist.
And Henry on the floor for the first time, as is Kyle Arns. And here is Arns. Slashing is Goins, trying to hammer that one down, and a missed dunk. Ward at the scores table. He'll check back in at the next whistle. Now Maddox Jr. Xavier Hill Mays against Tillman, and one. That'll count.
Really good job by Hill Mays of returning the favor that Nick Ward. This is the importance of having that inside pivot, Corey, because when you inside pivot, then that armbar has to come out. And you're putting a post defender in a situation that he's not necessarily the most comfortable being in, which is in that short corner. When you inside pivot, the armbar comes off, that contact is released. Now the offensive player has a couple of options, either that short mid-range jump shot, which Ward did for Michigan State, or Hill Mays here going to the basket.
See the mask that Hill Mays is sporting here tonight. Back in November, Oakland played UNLV, and Hill Mays took about 3 shots to his nose, 3 elbows. Nothing broken, but bruised nonetheless, and playing through some discomfort and still wearing the mask. Now foul whistled on Oakland, and that's going to be on James Beck, high school teammate of Xavier Tillman. Grand Rapids Christian.
Nice feed. Really good feed from Tillman.
And a foul whistled on Norris as he tried to get that hand in as Ward was set to do some damage. So now the freshman picks up a foul, and the fouls are mounting quickly here for the Golden Grizzlies.
Yeah, sorry, Corey. And that's something that Oakland cannot afford. And Michigan State got bailed out there because Ward did not need the dribble. That allowed the scrape.
Nice look there from Arns. Smooth stroke off the screen. Arns averaging 6 per game. Did not play last year due to an injured foot. While McQuaid was out, missing 3 games with an injured leg, Arns started in his spot.
And a big basket on the road in Florida earlier this season, did Arns.
Ward the steal and a foul on Cumberland trying to get back. So Ward active hands, and Cumberland denying Ward a layup or a dunk.
This is what Michigan State wants to do. Get out in transition. Good job of hopping that passing angle, and then just a good hard foul by Cumberland. Going to force Ward to earn it from the foul line. You must rather have a guy shooting 61% at the foul line to give him a clear path to the basket when he converts 68% of the time.
We saw a number earlier how good Ward has been shooting here at home, but even going back to the Green Bay game, he was 12 of 13 in that game. That's the second best single game field goal percentage ever by a Michigan State player. Only Ron Charles, who was perfect 12 for 12 against Michigan back in 1980, is better than Ward on the all-time chart. There's a slip down low. Will Mays hasn't been shy. Over Ward. Great defense again.
Good job by Ward again of running the floor. Really nice job.
Winston the miss. Tillman the rebound. Arns for 3.
Nice job by Tillman, but a really good job of communication by Arns. Tillman looked like he was going to kick it back out, Corey, but then he heard Arns call for it in the corner, and rather than just throw to a voice, Tillman located him before he let it go.
7-0 Michigan State run. And the lead is at 9. There's Cumberland. One dribble, now shoots over Arns, and then a high arcing 3 falls for Cumberland.
That's his second, and both have been difficult.
Henry went back door, but denied. Now Winston slips free.
Good job of moving without the ball by Winston, but that was also made possible because there was poor ball pressure. That allowed the ball handler to look over the top and lead Winston right to the basket.
Just terrific passing from this Michigan State team. Leads the Big Ten in assists. And now a block from behind. Shot clock did not reset. Beck underneath. Hill Mays, a quick catch, shoot.
Nice
off the mark on the 3,
Tillman.
and Tillman,
Yep.
You're right, Sean, right there. Up the floor, Ward running, catching, and laying it in. Perfect pass from Winston.
And again, really impressive how well Ward has run the floor, not just tonight, but throughout the course of his junior season. And you have to reward the big guy when he gets out and runs like that. And that was a beautiful pass leading him right toward the rim.
Stan Scott appearing his 6th game. Shot clock at 4. Cumberland has to create, and he walked.
This is not the NBA, and you are not James Harden, where they let you shuffle off to Buffalo.
And we have a timeout here in East Lansing. Winston, one junior to another, finding Ward. And Kyle Arns, redshirt junior, he's knocked down 2 threes, and Michigan State up by 10 here at home.
Back to East Lansing, where the homestanding Michigan State Spartans have built a double-digit lead. And Corey, as we take a look at our State Farm assist of the game, we've talked about the ability and the willingness of Nick Ward to run the floor. Now watch, he passes a smaller Grizzly, Javen Cumberland, and is rewarded as that pass leads him right to the rim. 8 made field goals so far, 7 coming via the assist. That one just happens to be our State Farm assist of the game.
And you go back, and something you referenced too, you go back to Nick Ward's freshman year and just the transformation of his body, and much has been made about the weight that he's lost throughout his career, but just the plays he's making now compared to 2 years ago, night and day.
And he's also a better passer. He's become a better passer, especially out of the double team, and he's going to have to continue to improve in that area of his ball game, because you can expect to see a lot of double teams coming as this season unfolds.
Double yet here, working against Brechting. Patient.
Nice pass.
Kicks it back out. This is McQuaid. Ward was expecting a shot and still gets it to go.
And that was a really nice pass by Ward to turn and locate McQuaid and then not give up on the play. And the reason that Ward's not going to see as many double teams as, say, a guy like Ethan Happ did a year ago is because of the proficiency that Michigan State has from behind the arc, especially with guys like Langford, Winston, and McQuaid shooting it well.
Brechting left it short. Now a foul. He got hit near the elbow on that attempt, and Ward whistled for the foul. It's his first, just the second team foul on Michigan State. So this will be 2 free throws coming up for Brad Brechting, redshirt junior from Cedar Springs, Michigan.
At the line for Oakland, Brechting.
Golden Grizzlies at 4-8 out of the Horizon League. Now tomorrow we've got basketball for you all day long. We tip things off at noon and take you straight through the day with 5 games. Catch 4 ranked teams before the day ends with Illinois and Missouri bragging rights. BTN all day tomorrow. Presented by Jeep. We will be in Ann Arbor for Michigan and Air Force tomorrow at 4 Eastern.
You've had to spend an inordinate amount of time with me so far.
But that memo got missed.
Yeah, it did. But I will let you know this. The car will be at 72 degrees as per your request.
Well, where's the car going to be, though?
I'll pull
right. I mean, nobody knows.
I'll pull right up. I don't want to be eviscerated.
Bounce pass to Ward along the baseline. 10 points for Nick Ward already, coming off a career-high 28 back on Sunday. Hill Mays.
Nice shot.
Right hand. He has not been shy, as we have said throughout the night. He's attempted now 8 shots and made 2. Here's McQuaid kicking. This is Arns for 3. That's off the mark, and Cumberland the rebound with 1 hand.
We talked about Hill Mays, and yes, he has struggled tonight, but coming in shooting 54%. So you want to continue to play the averages. He is your leading scorer as well as your leading rebounder.
Mays, 2 more off the glass. It's clear that, Hill Mays is trying to get Ward in foul trouble. Already has 1, but, Ward has defended really well, despite that contact inside.
A little bit of zone defense being employed here. Oakland's going to have to give a lot of different looks against a much deeper Michigan State squad.
Arns misses his 2nd straight 3.
You contrast the style here. This is a team in Oakland in the past like to push the pace. They understand that is not going to be to their advantage here tonight versus Michigan State. Watch the pace with which Michigan State gets the ball out of the net and up the floor compared to what Oakland's forced to do here today.
And that's Ward's 2nd foul, as Cassius Winston will come back in for the Spartans, as does Xavier Tillman. And we've seen Winston, Sean, go in and out so far. Just a part of the plan to give him some more rest here at times.
Yeah, and to kind of get some guys some different reps, and especially Coach Izzo was talking about, Winston getting them some more rest. He talked about that before the game, and he understands that he's going to need him fresher, or as fresh as possible once conference play resumes.
That was too good of a move, and that's a turnover. So Mays walk. Speaking more about Cassius Winston, the last 4 games, look at the assist-to-turnover ratio, averaging around 32 minutes per game. Hey, look at the 32 minutes and the production. Do you see those numbers changing at all when you get to the meat of conference play in a couple of weeks? First McQuaid, the 3.
I think the minutes are going to stay about the same because he's so good. I mean, even though he's having, by his standards, last year he shot almost 50% from 3. Here he's around 40. So when you have a 10 percentage point drop in your 3-point shooting, you're still at 40. You're still shooting the ball extremely well, and his decision-making has been outstanding.
Wild shot and miss from Cumberland, Brechting the offensive rebound. Shot clock did not reset. And Norris now sees it with 5. And the feeling he's going to shoot. And sure enough, he does. And that missed everything. And now Winston, nobody picked him up. He'll pop and score. Nearly a 40% 3-point shooter, and Michigan State leads by 16. Spartans are 5 of 9 from 3. 14-4. Michigan State run. Another late clock as Langford defends Cumberland. He heaves it. And Cumberland somehow got that one to go despite great defense from Langford. Can he answer? Opposite side? No. And Norris the rebound.
Cumberland's hit 3 threes, and all have been extremely difficult.
Maddox gets around Winston and scores.
Yeah, that will not make the coaching staff happy because Winston got windburn, didn't close out under control, and Oakland able to turn the corner. They continue to employ a 1-3-1 look and trying to force Michigan State to shoot over the top.
And this will be an offensive foul as Tillman pushed off. That'll be his second. So Tillman 2 fouls, Nick Ward 2 fouls in this first half.
Cassius Winston, Corey, showing you why he leads the conference in assists, but says, you know what? I know it's the season of giving. Let me give you all 3 of these in a double-digit lead.
Basketball on BTN is presented by State Farm. Here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today. Corey Probus, Sean Morris, we thank you for joining us. And look at this. So much great basketball in this wonderful state, but you look at just conference winning percentages. And how about the Golden Grizzlies? At over 70%, Michigan State right behind. Sean at second.
The Golden Grizzlies, now a member of the Horizon League, were in the Summit for a while, and during the tenure of that guy, Greg Campy, year after year, have been really explosive offensively. They just have so many new guys that the way they have to play tonight has not really been indicative of his career path there at Oakland, where they really like to get up and down the floor. They just don't have as many bodies, especially against a team like Michigan State.
And this is not a home game, but at least, Oakland is playing a game in its home state.
I mean, this is their 6th straight road game, and they have 2 more to come, and those 2 road games that come after this are to begin conference play.
In the month of December, everything on the road.
Like Santa.
Game. That's right. As Winston into the corner. This is Henry for 3. And the rebound to impressive freshman Marcus Bingham Jr. Winston up top. He'll try and score.
I tell you what, I like Bingham. Now, he's a little bit on the frail side. He'll need to get stronger, a little bit bigger up top. But when he has a chance to shoot the ball, Corey, watch the release and the backward spin and the rotation. He has a chance to be a pretty good player here in East Lansing.
Bingham, one freshman on the floor, as is fellow freshman Aaron Henry. And Tom Izzo told us today, look, right now, of all the freshmen who are physically ready to play, it's Henry at 6'6", 210. That is to play really competitive minutes, but the coaching staff really high in what Bingham will bring to this program and to this team as the season continues. Nice fake there from Langford. That's a 2.
That's also called dribbling with a purpose. A lot of times guys will put the ball on the floor and not go anywhere. Here he was able to use the head fake and then clear space going to his left.
Co-captain Joshua Langford. And now going for the steal and knocked that out of bounds. And look at the Michigan State bench just swarm Langford.
And Langford also doing a really good job of honoring the scouting report. Now watch, he knows where this pass is coming. And he kind of laid back and waited, almost like a defensive back. He knew that pass was coming, and he slowed up his steps until he saw the ball leave the hands of the ball handler for Golden Grizzly, and then was able to reach out and try to get a hand on it.
And watching Shooter out today, it was obvious from the opening minutes that he has taken on that vocal leadership role vacated by his former roommate Tum Tum Nairn, and now Langford the steal. Trailing Winston, he'll try for 3. And Hill Mays the rebound. Michigan State now 6 of 14 from 3. Under 5 to play in this first half. Hill Mays gets around Goins, and a foul called on Kenny Goins.
Again, Corey, that's why you need to turn and face the defender. Goins was at the advantage when Hill Mays had his back to him. Once he turned and created that space, now the advantage goes to the offensive player because you pulled the post defender Goins away from his area of comfort.
15 foul. Thomas Kithier at the scorer's table as Winston knocks it out, 13 to shoot. And Winston
In the lineup for Michigan
The
State.
deflected pass right there. Stays with Oakland, down by 16 points. So Goins comes out. And the freshman Kithier on for the 10th time. 6'8", 225 from Clarkston, Michigan. Norris with 3 to shoot. Norris with 2, contested 3. And a friendly roll here. Even though he's on the road, Norris at 61% from beyond the arc.
Well, and much like my career aspirations, went up there and died, but eventually found a home.
The lob inside Bingham. Lost it, and it'll be Michigan State ball.
It stays Michigan State basketball.
And that's one where when Bingham gets a little bit stronger, Corey, he'll be able to catch it, get his lower body squared and underneath him, then be able to explode. He's playing 2 straight up and down right now.
Tom Izzo told us when Bingham arrived on campus, he was about 193. They list him now at about 215. Here's Henry attacking, scooping and scoring.
Henry.
We've got the freshman on Hill Mays. Look for him to try to get the ball to Hill Mays, maybe with Cumberland on that side of the floor to force Michigan State to defend inside out.
Michigan State 3 freshmen, 2 juniors on the floor right now. Maddox. It's Hill Mays. Got a couple of guys up. Right on you, Sean. You saw that coming.
It's a simple game, or they wouldn't let me near it, Corey.
Langford beats the pressure. Great pass. Kithier got that from Winston and spun out. Winston 3 assists. With 8 points so far. Michigan State leads by 13 with 3 minutes to go until halftime.
We'll bring Hill Mays again over to that side of the floor. Trying to isolate him on the freshman.
Maddox going high. Missed it. Hill Mays. The putback is there.
I'll tell you what, that kid, he has not come out. I mean, and he has had 4 different bodies rotate on him defensively.
Tillman 2 fouls. Ward 2 fouls. Kithier trying to foul it up. Short off the rim. The Golden Grizzlies trying to put together a run here before the half. Speaking of that, the State Farm halftime report coming up. Mike Hall, Jess Settles, Deion Thomas standing by. Their halftime coverage coming up. Just a bit from Chicago. Cumberland. And now Winston. Lost it, got it back, spinning, and a foul. It's called on Oakland. And that'll take us to a break. Happy holidays from East Lansing. Michigan State leads by 11. Michigan State shooting 56% from the field, leading by 11, 38-27. Santa's here.
You sit on a throne of lies.
The balanced attack we have seen from Michigan State so far. 8 players with an assist. No surprise. Something we focused on at the top tonight.
Just so efficient and unselfish, continuing where they left off last time out, where they had 38 made field goals, 31 coming via the assist. 13 of 15, as you see there. Fast break points also decidedly to the advantage of the Michigan State Spartans. 13-0 in that category so far.
You like that movie, right?
Oh,
I mean, it's a classic.
hey, if we don't support the arts, Corey, who will?
It's a great movie. Foul was on Trey Maddox Jr., his second. So Michigan State now in the bonus. You see the numbers there for Winston. 84% at the line. Michigan State last time out put up 64 points in the first half. Round to a 104-83 win on Sunday against Green Bay, taking out the second straight Horizon League opponent in Oakland tonight. Norris in traffic, shovels it to Hill Mays. And the follow is there. Never gave up, did Xavier Hill Mays.
Nice job by Norris of getting in the lane, and good job by Hill Mays of having his hands ready.
And you mentioned, too, how Norris even created that opportunity. You know, Oakland lost starting point guard. Braden Neely left after 3 games. Turning player, and that really left Oakland thin in the backcourt, and the freshman Norris has responded.
To the tune of 61% from behind the arc, and an outstanding assist-to-turnover ratio well north of 3-1.
Oakland averaging 78 points per game, only 29 though here in this first half. Will Mays lowers the shoulder, and Kithier whistled for the foul. The Michigan State fans don't agree, and Tom Izzo is hot right now. He thought that his freshman was playing great defense.
I think what happened is the official might have been straight line, meaning that he didn't see that push-off initially, and the push-off then forced Michigan State to kind of come down and grab it. I think the position with that crab dribble kind of put the official in a bad spot.
A block there from Kithier, denying James Beck, and here's Winston. Feeds Kithier. Contact, and a foul. So Kithier will shoot 2 with 53.2 to play in this first half.
And when you saw the official come in there, Corey, and point down at the floor, for the fans at home that may not, watch a ton of college basketball, that means that the defender was inside that restricted area. Now, if you're in the restricted area, you can jump straight up with your hands straight up, but you cannot try to draw a charge.
A couple of free throws here for Kithier this bowl season. Stay tuned to BTN Live and the Big Show as they deliver in-depth bowl coverage and analysis. Game previews and post-game analysis on BTN Live and the Big Show this bowl season. Langford in as Aaron Henry, freshman, comes out. Second one too strong. Michigan State's led by as many as 16 points. State Farm halftime report coming up.
Yeah, illegal screen. You can see that coming. Hill Mays, a little bit of fatigue here. He didn't come to a complete stop, and then he kind of extended the shoulder. Watch right here. Not at a complete stop, and then he kind of compounds it by moving into the defender, Winston, and drop that shoulder. And, that's a guy, that's the only rest he's gotten. I mean, that guy has been out there battling a ton of different Spartans. At least 4 have drawn the defensive assignment on the leading scorer for the Golden Grizzlies here tonight.
There's McQuaid. Kithier. The lead for Langford.
And a nice pass by Kithier, but how about the athletic catch by Langford? That thing was down around his shoe tops, and he's able to corral it.
Timeout called by Oakland. Now let's take a look at this message from Zip Recruiter, the smartest way to hire and the official hiring partner of the Big Ten Conference.
Hiring delays were causing work to pile up. That's not smart. But you know what is smart? Using ZipRecruiter. They find people with the right skills, education, and experience for my job and actively invite them to apply. So I got qualified candidates fast. No wonder ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S.
ZipRecruiter, official hiring partner of the Big Ten Conference. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Big10.
Spartans 45, Oakland 29, 15.8 to play. Michigan State shooting 59% from the field in this first half. Balanced attack so far from the Spartans, seeking win number 10.
And not surprising for a couple of reasons, Corey. This is a team we've talked about it throughout the course of the first half, how well Michigan State shares the ball. That's going to get you a lot of easy baskets. And defensively, Oakland has struggled this year, giving up 50% shooting from the floor versus all opponents.
Maddox with 5 seconds, picks up his dribble. Norris with 3 seconds against Winston. Got it off in time, and it goes at the buzzer for Braden Norris. So Norris with a couple of first half threes. This one as the first half clock is about to expire. You bet got it off in time. And that's how the first 20 minutes ends here at the Breslin Center. Still Michigan State. Mentioned how well they've been shooting so far tonight. 15 assists on 17 made field goals for Tom Izzo's team in this first half. At the break, Michigan State 45, Oakland 32. Stay tuned. The State Farm halftime report coming up from Chicago next here on BTN. Welcome back to East Lansing. At the break, Michigan State leading Oakland 45-32 as we look at some of the first half numbers. The passing, once again, the theme for the Spartans, 15 assists on 17 made field goals, only 2 turnovers. At the break, Michigan State leads by 13. Again, welcome courtside, everybody. Happy holidays. With Sean Morris, I'm Corey Provis. The assist numbers we talked about a lot in the first half. The balance as well. 8 different Spartans scored in the first 20 minutes.
And as a result of their willingness to share the ball, Coach Izzo was able to get into his bench, get some guys some playing time that don't get out there a ton. But one thing that remained constant, to your point, Corey, was the willingness to make the extra pass. Nick Ward, the beneficiary there. Here, a really nice catch and completion by Joshua Langford from the freshman. Get your feet set. And then this was really impressive. Not just the pass, but the ability and willingness of Nick Ward to run the floor. That's a big reason you can shoot 68% from the floor throughout the course of the year.
Nick Ward and Cassius Winston lead the way for Michigan State, 10 points apiece. And there's Langford. Second half begins. That 3 rattles out, tipped around, and that's a busy man in the first half, Xavier Hill-Mays. Took 15 shots.
Nice duck in.
And here is Hill-Mays, and missed around the rim.
You can't ask for a better set than what Oakland ran there, just not able to convert.
Floater falls for Winston. Now 4-7 from the field. Tom Izzo, going back to Sunday, did not like the way his team responded in the second half and played in the second half, despite the win against Green Bay. We'll see how they respond tonight. There's Norris, a couple of threes in the first half, freshman. Norris got Goins up. Late clock. Brechting has to fire, does not, loses it, and violation.
Yeah, Brechting did a good job of making himself available, Corey, but then he didn't take care of the basketball. When he got the ball at that high elbow, he kind of put the ball right out there for Michigan State to deflect, and that's exactly what happened, leading to an empty possession for the Golden Grizzlies.
And when you look at the first half turnovers, both sides, not bad. Michigan State only 2 turnovers, and now Brechting with a shove in the back of Nick Ward.
And again, Oakland employing that 1-3-1. For periods of time, they've had a smaller guy in the back line. Here, Brechting kind of gets caught in the middle, and what will happen is you have to give up something, and against a 1-3-1, about 85% of the time, it's usually a corner 3.
Kamari Newman on the floor right now for Oakland. Ward left hand. Pretty move.
Somewhere Willis Reed is smiling. Nice job by Nick Ward, showing you a little bit of versatility and the ability to go to that stronger left hand over that right shoulder.
There's Newman. And that high arcing 3 falls. So a few of those go in the first half. The Golden Grizzlies, first bucket tonight. And now Winston has his third 3 tonight.
Well, he shoots 40% from deep, and you know, Oakland's 6 of 12 from behind the arc, and this is a squad in Oakland that came in averaging 11 made threes per game, shooting 42% as a squad from behind the arc.
Now Hill-Mays over Ward, spun out.
That's the second time that Hill-Mays has left one wanting, and again it's Ward. You see the fatigue again of Hill-Mays. Ward just, after that defensive transition, just sprinted down the floor as he's done throughout the course of this evening. Turn, face the defender on an island. You keep him marooned there. Then you run the floor. You don't get back in transition, and the big guy will make you pay. And nice touch by the left hand.
Cassius Winston, 2 more. Now Oakland thin tonight off the bench. Jordan Nobles unable to play, missing his 2nd straight game, the graduate senior. Canton, Michigan, due to an academic issue. Brechting cutting, missing, and that one might have been tipped a little bit by Goins. And a foul called on the floor, and they're going to whistle Ward with his 3rd.
What a cut by Brechting. And how about the delivery? You come up, you set the high ball screen. Brechting sets it on Goins and then dives right to the rim. And this pass, there was not a big margin for error for that to get through there. And then Brechting, after he missed the layup, caught one right in the yapper.
Ward stays in, 3 fouls. Goins comes out. Tillman back in. Great defense. And now Norris resets, and boy, can he create his own shot.
I tell you what, and that kid is a young-looking guy, but he is fearless. He knocked down a 3 to end the half. Here he bails out his team, and you know Oakland's still down, but they're still fighting.
Oakland calls a timeout. Norris, 9 points, 54-38. 4:38, Michigan State leading the Golden Grizzlies of Oakland. 16:59 to play in our ball game. Next Saturday, Ohio State and High Point meet at noon. These Spartans get back in action when they take on Northern Illinois at 2 o'clock next Saturday, right here on BTN, presented by Jeep.
And the opposition of the Big Ten opponents in each of those games has a Big Ten tie. For High Point, the Panthers coached by former Minnesota head coach Tubby Smith. And then the visitors from Northern Illinois, the Huskies, coached by former Michigan State great Mark Montgomery.
Coming up next weekend. Oakland called the timeout. Here's Winston. Langford to McQuaid. One captain fed another. And Ward the rebound. Spins on Brechting and lays it in.
Nice job by Ward of spinning away from contact. Brechting tried to take away his ability to get into the lane and go over that right shoulder. Ward nimble enough to spin away from that contact.
Maddox trying to feed Brechting, and Tillman read that. And now Winston 3-on-2. Langford, he was trying to lob it to Ward and lost it. And now Norris. And that one rejected. Volleyball spike into the dance team by Tillman.
Checking back in for Oakland.
Let's take a look at our Auto Owners Insurance BTN standout. Last time down the floor for the Spartans. Nick Ward, you sense contact. Brechting's trying to take away his ability to shoot that baby hook, which he set up a couple possessions ago. Ward savvy enough to spin away from contact to complete.
Mays got Ward up with the right hand. Nice move.
Nice move. Good footwork up and under. Nice completion by Hill Mays.
Averaging 23 points per game. He has 15 on 7 of 18 from the field. Langford, great look up top. Too strong. Ward the tip into his own bench, and it's Oakland ball.
Oakland basketball.
And with that, we have a timeout. 16-minute timeout here in the second half. Michigan State by 16 here on BTN. These two teams meeting here tonight, and some similarities, Sean, specifically offensively when it comes to passing, but also shooting and converting three-point shots.
The three-point line, certainly a much larger part of the arsenal for the Oakland Golden Grizzlies when they have the ball. Shooting 42% from behind the arc as a team, outstanding. They just haven't had the opportunity so far. The ones they've had, they've completed. They're 7 of 13 from deep for 54%, which is 12 percentage points above their already outstanding performance so far.
Now, not too many teams will have a December schedule like that, as Rick Campy has ditched the jacket, but everything on the road in the month of December. This is game 6 of an 8-game road trip. Mays over Tillman. That one spins in.
I tell you what, that guy is going to do some damage in the Horizon League. Strong, good footwork.
Speaking of good footwork, I'll finish there from Tillman. You know, you bring up a good point. Hill Mays, he played his first 2 years. Then he took a red shirt, his choice last year.
He needed to rest with as many minutes as he's gotten today.
No kidding. Such a different Oakland team. Hill Mays, 2 more. No, not that time. And Ward the rebound. This is 4th rebound to go with 14 points. Winston pushing. Had it poked free. Got it back and laid it up and in.
And a good job by Tillman. Not just running the floor, Corey, but he was able to kind of seal off the weak side help. And that was a result then. Winston, even though he mishandled the ball, because the weak side help was sealed off by Tillman, he's able to re-corral it and complete.
Kamari Newman. Ball back from Hill Mays. Missed it. Put back, no. Put back again, no. And now Tillman corrals it. Numbers for Michigan State, 3-on-2. Winston in the paint. Tillman passed it up. Langford does not.
Joshua Langford, assist
That's a shot that Xavier Tillman could have taken. He's attempted only 4 threes, but he made the extra pass, and Langford knocked it down.
And Hill Mays going to the bench. Looks like he might have injured himself, but look right on the seal, on the second look right here. Well, this is a play that just actually got completed. Nice job by Tillman of reversing the ball. But watch number 23 right here. He seals off the weak side help, and then even though Winston doesn't corral it cleanly, because Tillman had done his job running the floor and getting his defender on his hip, that allowed Winston to recover and complete.
There's Cumberland stripped and a foul. This will be on the freshman, Foster Lawyer.
Personal foul on 3, Foster Lawyer. That's his first,
second team foul.
I'll tell you what, well, both Foster Lawyer and Braden Norris are going to fool no one with a fake ID. I can tell you that.
As Cumberland leaves that one short. Did you have that same look as a freshman? Right?
Yeah.
Baby face, baby face for the
well, they both look
Wildcats.
They both look like guys that you should yell at if your paper's late.
Hill Mays out. Looked at by certified head athletic trainer on the Oakland bench. Looks like Golden Grizzlies go zone. Goins along the baseline. Tipped around and a foul. And this is going to be on Langford, and he knew it.
And against that 1-3-1, we talked about the corner is the weak spot. Really good job by Michigan State of being able to locate it. Many times you'll have to give up the long 3 from the corner, but there they're able to step into the short corner, just not able to convert.
Babatunde Shawunmi checks in for Hill Mays. Doesn't play too often. And now Beck cut off by Goins.
Good job by Norris there of coming and bailing out his teammate who had killed his dribble.
Newman, and that 3 goes, and Oakland not going away here. Well, the Grizzlies have now hit on 8 of 14 from 3.
And 2 of those coming from Newman.
And a traveling violation, turnover number 4. And Michigan State gives it back to the Golden Grizzlies. As Tom Izzo is going to go back to his bench. And Henry, freshman, back in. And Goins comes out. Newman, can he try again? And he does, and knocks that one down. And again, that's Oakland's game.
Hey, they're within 12. They just keep coming at you. Now they're putting a little bit of a half-court trap, little wrinkle with that 1-3-1.
Freshman to freshman. Henry to Lawyer.
Nice ball
Lawyer
fake.
off the fake. And way off on the shot. And a rebound to Oakland. And Shawunmi. It's a 7-0 Golden Grizzly run.
And that's a good sign for Oakland because their leading scorer has been on the bench during this time. Hill Mays.
Newman to miss, and Cumberland trying for the offensive rebound and fouled. Contact with Langford. His second foul. So we go back to the 3 here a moment ago from Kamari Newman.
Kamari Newman doing a really good job. Very, very close of going out of bounds. If he goes out of bounds, Corey, and is the first to touch it, that play's illegal. But he's able to stay in bounds, much like a wide receiver in football, maintaining his eligibility to be the first to catch it, and then he's able to knock down the 3.
Langford on the bench. Henry trying to hammer that one down, but a better defensive play by Shawunmi on a block, and deflected last touch by Michigan State.
It's Oakland basketball.
Now, the Breslin Center all night long has been quiet. There have been moments when this place has gotten loud, but it's pretty quiet right now as Oakland's making a run. Still down by 12. Ward at the scorer's table. He'll check in shortly.
And Hill Mays still being worked on at the far end of the Oakland bench, and made field goal there were to put them within 10.
It's a great move, but not the finish there from James Beck. There's Tillman to McQuaid.
Nice pass.
Sets up Arns. Great look from the wing. And the rebound to Norris. Michigan State's cooled off here a bit offensively. Some great looks. There's Beck against Arns and a foul. Whistled on the redshirt junior, Kyle Arns. So Michigan State hasn't scored a basket in nearly 3 minutes. Tom Izzo pacing around a bit. Still his team is up by 12. Point game, 61-49 Michigan State. So Cassius Winston subbed out at the 14-14 mark. Outscored 7-0, and the Spartans haven't scored. And Michigan State offensively, Sean, has been running well when number 5 has been on the floor.
Yeah, you've had a lot of different players that have seen time for Michigan State. So you've had some guys playing with one another that may not necessarily be as comfortable or familiar. But one thing that has been constant throughout the course of this junior season has been the outstanding distribution of Cassius Winston.
No foul called on Oakland. And this will be on Beck, as Cumberland went up against 2 or 3 Michigan State defenders, and Beck trying to keep the possession on Oakland's side of the floor, picked up his 3rd foul.
And a good sign for Oakland that Hill Mays is able to come back in the ball game, because like when Winston was out and Oakland made that run, ironically for the Golden Grizzlies, their leading scorer was on the bench, being 10-2 with an injury. Nice look.
Sets up McQuaid. Will this 3 go? Yes.
Nice look by Ward. Really nice look. The only thing that would have made that play better is if it would have been a better pass, because McQuaid didn't catch it right in the shooting pocket. Had to make a little bit of an adjustment, but Ward just fantastic.
And that's Ward. That's going to be number 4, and it is. That's the 4th foul. Nick Ward, he can't believe it. And Tom Izzo disagrees with the call, but now the junior will likely head out with 4 fouls.
Yeah, he certainly will be on the bench.
Yeah. Tillman back in. Newman, tough shot. Ooh. And if that one's going, you're having a night.
Newman.
Winston, 2 more. Winston now with 21 points. Now whistle away from the ball, and yeah, Winston and James Beck tangled up inside. And it's the 1st foul on Winston.
And I think Winston, he knew he gave that foul. That was the right call, because he was caught in a mismatch. Oakland was trying to get the ball inside to the larger player Beck, and good job by Winston of just understanding, hey, I'm just going to give the foul.
16 fouls now on Michigan State off the screen. Cumberland. And a rare good look. Too strong, and now McQuaid on the outlet. Tillman muscling, spinning, and missing inside, and Hill Mays the rebound.
Nice job by Hill Mays of blocking out goings.
There's Kamari Newman.
Yeah, that one good end, Will. You can see that.
Head down.
Yeah.
Bodies and arms up high in front of him, and really in some ways Oakland fortunate to keep possession.
Yeah, he's drilling into a whole bunch of Spartans and just hoping that someone bails him out, and that's exactly what happens.
Langford back in. Quick run from Gabe Brown as he's back at the bench.
I think they got Hill Mays.
Oakland personal foul on 14, Hill Mays. That's his 4th. 15 foul on the Golden.
So number 4 on Hill Mays. So Campy looks on, hands on his hips. He's going to keep him on the floor despite the 4 fouls.
It's the right move. What do you have to lose, Corey? You know, keep your best player out there.
Oakland 2-42 all time against ranked opponents. McQuaid too strong. Rebound knocked around, and Beck picks it up. Man, that one nearly into the hands of Sean Morris.
I wouldn't give it up. I'd have shot it.
Man, is he fun to watch. Javen Cumberland off the crossover, knocks it down. A 12-point game. Winston for 3. The answer. 24 points for Cassius Winston.
And the difference, in addition to the depth for Michigan State, compare and contrast the last threes. Great conversion by Cumberland, but it was under duress. Every three that they've taken, with the exception of maybe one, has been contested. Michigan State, because they've been able to wear down Oakland, has been able to get much cleaner looks at the rim.
And the Golden Grizzlies call a timeout. Oakland will have one remaining. Passion there from Greg Campy in his 35th year.
That's a little tough love there.
Now coming up after we are done, intriguing matchup from Evanston, Northwestern, and Oklahoma, in a pivotal non-conference matchup coming up next. Here on BTN, we'll join Dave Refson, John Crispin for the ball from renovated Welsh Ryan Arena.
And Northwestern, I'm sure they won't admit it, but they probably have had that game circled because they took a thrashing in Norman last year, albeit with a completely different Oklahoma squad. But the Sooners really have been sound defensively, as have the Northwestern Wildcats. I think the post play of the respective programs, especially for Northwestern and Derek Parton's, going to be something to keep an eye on, not only in that ball game, but for Northwestern as a whole this year. Derek Parton, just really one of the most underrated players in this league.
Once Big Ten play resumes in 2019, Northwestern will be here against Michigan State. Back down low, blocked by Goins, and the corral. Now Winston to Langford, to Tillman, and one.
That got up the floor fast. And how about the fact it never hit the floor? I mean, they kick it ahead, and you saw one player give up a pretty good shot for a better shot. That's a shot that Langford can hit. Watch this. Boom. Up. One rhythm dribble. Ahead. Eyes always up. That's fantastic basketball.
So Xavier Tillman, see, fast break points, 33-3.
That's pretty. That was just pretty basketball.
(72-54), final 8:20.
They're coming out on Cumberland now.
Norris off the crossover. Back out to Hill Mays. He got Tillman up. Norris for three from the corner.
Really nice. Not just the conversion, but Norris. But how about the ability of Hills Mays to put the ball on the floor? And again, you're starting to see a little bit of the fatigue factor. They got the ball out of the net so quickly, and the Spartans able to get up and down the floor. We've talked about Ward's ability to do it, but Xavier Tillman able to pick him up and put him down as well. Coach Greg Campy just yelled at his players, "Are you tired?"
He said it. He said it right there. You see the fatigue, and yeah, the coach.
That might have been a rhetorical question. I'm not sure.
Same thing. Foul was on Shawunmi. Tillman's first and two. Ball's out.
This is a well-coached Oakland team. I mean, every dead ball situation, they have run a really impressive set. Now, a couple of times they missed the shot at the rim, but they have given themselves the opportunity to get some quality shots. But Michigan State has just been able to rotate enough guys in, and this is an Oakland team that is very thin. They continue to fight, but Michigan State beginning to pull away.
Presented by State Farm. Here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today. 73-57, Michigan State. 8 minutes to go. In the second half, Michigan State has been not shy about running transition chances, and we saw another beauty a moment ago, Sean.
Look where the eyes are of Cassius Winston. He knows that this play is going to end up with Tillman, but he knows he can't get it to him directly. And then everybody does their job, and they don't run in straight lines. McQuaid gives himself up running to the corner. Then the pass to Langford. He knew 2 passes ahead did Winston where that play was going to end up. He knew he couldn't make the direct pass to Tillman. He had to get in his comfort zone, and then the delivery to Langford completed the play.
And Michigan State, 21 assists on 28 field goals. You see how one-sided it's been at fast break, and now frustration really showing here for Xavier Hill Mays as he turns it over, the 10th Oakland turnover. And the Golden Grizzlies selected to finish 4th in the preseason Horizon League poll behind Wright State, Northern Kentucky, and UIC.
Personal foul on 14, Hill Mays.
And Hill Mays is just fouled out.
Personal foul. 8th foul on the Golden Grizzlies.
So Tom Izzo chats with his co-captain Joshua Langford. Meanwhile, the night is over for Xavier Hill Mays.
Back in for Oakland is 22.
17 points to 20 shots, and he is done.
7 rebounds, 4 assists. And boy, he faced a plethora of Michigan State defenders.
He gets the bonus.
Now when the action ends, the Big Show takes over. Highlights from around the conference and in-depth analysis. The Big Show tonight at 11 Eastern only here on BTN. Newman against Arns. Nice move. Elbow and off the back iron. Langford the rebound. There's Winston, a season-high 24 points. Hands to him.
I think he wanted to pass that ball, Corey, when he was coming into the lane, and then Oakland was able to recover. He was up in the air and had the presence of mind to put it up toward the basket and went in.
He's only 2 off his career high. Now a steal. It's Arns. It's Arns all the way. It'll count and 1. A blocking foul called on Norris. 3-point chance for Kyle Arns.
Again, fast break points have been such a large part of what Michigan State's been able to do, and that's the right call. Norris is still sliding. He was still moving when Arns left the floor. Even though he was outside of the restricted area, that's a pretty easy call for the official to make because of the position and the fact that he wasn't set when the offensive player, in this case Arns, left the floor.
Kenny Pittman Jr., freshman from Chicago, checks in for Oakland with Cumberland coming out. An 8-0 Michigan State run. Now the Golden Grizzlies had some momentum on their side. They got to within 12 on a couple of occasions, but now Michigan State pulling away.
Yeah,
6:48.
And when they put Tillman, Ward, and Winston back in the ball game, that kind of stemmed that tide.
Langford, Goins, no 3. Or the rebound. Lawyer, extra pass. Langford. 3 more. Langford has 12.
And a good
second
job,
3.
Sorry, Corey, a good job by Lawyer of getting down low and delivering that pass right into the shooting pocket for Langford. That'll come in handy down the stretch in conference play because the closeouts are going to be far more aggressive and fast.
And Lawyer trying to set up Arns, and that leave pass off the mark, and a turnover gives it back to Oakland. Let's take a look at our Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's in the net, and Langford's second 3.
And a nice job by Lawyer. Watch where this pass is. Hits Langford right in the shooting pocket. And when I say that that's going to pay dividends down the road, you know, in the future, those closeouts are going to be from bigger guys coming at you faster, so the placement of the basketball becomes even more important.
Well, following the game on Sunday against Green Bay, the upperclassmen called a meeting, and that was initiated by Langford and company. And Tom Izzo loved it. He thought it was the perfect time. Just before conference play kicks into gear. There's been kind of a lull here after playing 6 games in 16 days. Michigan State with more time now. Final exams now over. But he loved the idea that the players kind of called that meeting, specifically the upperclassmen.
And probably in addition to whatever they wanted to talk about on the floor, especially with all these young guys that they're trying to incorporate in the program. Say, hey, look, I know this is your first time on campus when school's not in session. This is how we handle our business in the hotel. This is how we handle our business in shoot-arounds, all those sorts of things. Because if you do that with the type of leadership that they have, then that makes coaching your team a lot easier if some of that self-policing goes on.
Lead is up to 30. 5:02 to go. Michigan State will improve to 17, make that 18. I'm sorry, 17-0 all time. against Oakland as Langford comes out. And now the teams huddle up. Now, we mentioned earlier that, Tom Izzo, he was none too pleased with how his team played the second half on Sunday, and he kind of mentioned how it was going to play out during the week, and here's what he said following Sunday's game.
There's no finals. There's no excuses. Most of the girlfriends are gone. Most of their buddies are gone. And we get 4 days to practice with no rules, no anything. So we're going to practice. We're going to do the opposite of my fellow Hall of Famer, Allen Iverson. We're going to practice. We're going to practice. And we're going to practice.
Two Hall of Famers talking about practice, man.
With differing opinions as to their usefulness.
And sure enough, that's exactly how it played out this week for Michigan State.
We talked to him at shoot-around. He was very pleased with the last 4 days. And I think what he was trying to do there is kind of send a message. Now, he didn't run a boot camp, but he let those guys know that I always have that option.
There's points for Foster Lawyer. Averaging 7 minutes per game. Norris up top.
I like that kid, man. I like that kid. That kid is tough, tough, tough.
15 points. And speaking of tough, look at Tom Izzo right now. He is coaching his freshman. And Norris, the freshman, scoring, and now a timeout called here in East Lansing. All Spartans on BTN. Team to go, 89-60 Michigan State. It's the holiday season. Mr. Morris, you have put together your holiday nice list of the Big Ten.
And I know that you've been waiting with bated breath, Corey, so we'll get right to it. How about the depth of the conference this year? Last year, 4 teams were NCAA tournament bound. I expect that to at least double. The metrics and everything else back that up. And I think it's always important when people take input and they put it to work. Sometimes individually and collectively that doesn't happen. A great example, guys like Tyler Cook, guy we're seeing tonight, Nick Ward getting it done, and then Nebraska with their scheduling. And so many times we get caught up in the immediacy. We don't take a look at the whole body of work, and I think it's really important to recognize what guys like Ethan Happ, Jordan Murphy, and Jawan Morgan have done for their programs during their 4-year tenures on their respective campuses.
Bingham with his 5th made 3 of the year. 5th time this year Michigan State has surpassed the 90-point plateau. Getting back to your thought on Ethan Happ, it's amazing what a healthy Wisconsin team looks like, right?
Especially with 3-point shooters. He had double teams literally every possession last year when guys like Demetric Trice, Kobe King were out. Remember, Brad Davison played almost the whole year essentially with one arm, to his credit, just showing a great deal of toughness. And as a result, Happ had to really struggle. Now, you've got a guy like Trice, you have a player like Aleem Ford, guys that can make you pay for the double team. As a result, Happ's been able to operate almost exclusively with single coverage, and not only can he score in his own right, but he's averaging about 5 assists per game.
Jack Hoiberg is checked in for Michigan State. Connor George has as well. This will count. And one opportunity coming up for Trey Maddox Jr.
41, George. His first personal 17 foul on the Spartans. Maddox at the line, shooting 1.
Maddox 7 of 10 at the free throw line this season. Freshman from Novi, Michigan. And that one doesn't go. And the rebound to Thomas Kithier. And here's Jack Hoiberg. Ball up the floor. Hoiberg cut off. George off the fake, left hand, and it goes. Awarded the scholarship last year. Initially joined the Spartans as a walkout the 2015-16 season.
His mother, the head women's volleyball coach here at Michigan State. They also had an outstanding year. The Big Ten in women's volleyball, just stellar as always, with Nebraska falling just a little bit short in the national title game against Stanford.
And Minnesota also had a great season as well. It's a 5-set thriller. Target Center, downtown Minneapolis.
Nothing gets by you, Corey.
Nebraska and Stanford.
Checking in for Michigan State, 40. Braden Burke.
Yeah, now we get to see some of the youth on the floor right now for Michigan State. Yeah, a few guys deep in the bench. We'll get some action here late. (94-62).
Let me give you another example of why I like Braden Norris for the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. You know, Coach Campy kind of getting on a couple of guys because he hasn't necessarily liked their effort or their body language. And once the coach turned around, you know, Norris went to his teammates and said, hey, keep your head up. And that's how you get the respect of your teammates, especially when you're a freshman. You know, your willingness to say, you know what, even though I'm only a freshman, I still am the point guard, the equivalent of the quarterback on this team. And, you know, I'm here to help you guys out.
As a freshman, leading the Horizon League in assist-to-turnover ratio. We've seen him put on a great show here tonight. Knocked out of bounds, 14 to shoot and 2:32 to play. 6 feet. Hilliard, Ohio, near Columbus. Braden Norris averaging 9 per game. He has 15 on 5 threes.
Yeah, he shoots 61% from deep on the year.
Brown lost it, got it back. Shot clock late. Now George. Floater short. Here comes Maddox. Norris left open. 6 threes.
Yep.
And his Breslin center debut.
Teams in the Horizon League are not going to want to face that young guy because he is tough, very skilled.
Tipped around and in the hands of Scott.
Treating the ball like the proverbial holiday fruitcake. No one wanted it.
Final 95 seconds. Nice touchdown, 7 of 10 for 3 this season.
Yeah, he knocked down 3 of those versus Green Bay. Came in off the bench, and you mentioned it, Corey. A really pretty left-handed release.
With a balanced 13 different Spartans have scored tonight. Maddox, that's a 2. Top of the key for Maddox. And a timeout called. This will be a substitution timeout as
Timeout.
is
Michigan
going
State,
to
a
back to
30
his
second
bench.
timeout.
And how about
bringing Brock Washington?
And Corey, how about the respect between these two coaches? Coach Izzo wanted to just do a substitution timeout, and Coach Campy looked at him and said, hey, can we make it a full timeout? I've got something to say to my team. And Coach Izzo said, all right, guys, come on over.
Yeah. Despite the score, coaching, the passion never goes away. Tomorrow we've got basketball all day long. We tip things off at noon, and we take you straight through the day with 5 games. Catch 4 ranked teams before the day ends with rivals Illinois and Missouri. Excited to have that one for you tomorrow night here on BTN. All day, presented by Jeep.
In that much anticipated holiday nice list, one of the things that we talked about was Nebraska and taking input and their scheduling. The game versus Cal State Fullerton, a great example of that. The game is in Lincoln, but Cal State Fullerton, an outstanding backcourt, and the Titans were an NCAA tournament team a year ago. So Nebraska, even though they were 13-5 last year, were left on the outside looking in. A big reason for that was their non-conference schedule. They have certainly addressed that, and then some.
Turn around, rattled around again. Braden Burke, his 5th game. Transfer from Robert Morris, 6'11", 235.
Channeling his inner Dirk Nowitzki there with a little step
Good.
back.
Michigan State scored 104 on Sunday. That one's knocked out by Sharuni. 38.4 to play. Spartans tonight, 27 assists on 38 made shots. It was 15 assists on 17 made field goals in the first half. George picks up his dribble. Now Hoiberg. against Norris, stripped and knocked out of bounds, and going to the Golden Grizzlies. There's Norris, still playing hard. Really has been impressive watching him play.
Playing right to the final whistle. I mean, that's impressive.
Final 15 seconds. Maddox with 10. Off the glass, no. And Michigan State the rebound. Your thoughts on a Michigan State win tonight?
Michigan State very impressive, sharing the basketball, running the floor, and it was the depth, especially along the front line, which paid dividends for Michigan State after 4 days off after playing last Sunday.
Tom Izzo and Greg Campy, two very good friends. Tom Izzo's been here 24 years as the head coach. Greg Campy, 35 years head coach with the Golden Grizzlies. A lot of respect, a lot of ties on these coaching staffs with these two programs. And Cassius Winston, 2 points shy of a career high tonight. In the end, Michigan State, Oakland made this a game in the second half, but Sparty in the end pulls away, wins by 30, 99-69. Now, mentioned Cassius Winston, that he played well. He was scoring, he was passing from three, you name it. And he had that kind of night. 26 points, hit 4 threes on 3 assists, only 1 turnover for the junior from Detroit in his 30-point victory tonight. Michigan State hit on 59% from the field in this game. As the Spartans now improved to 10-2 on the year, Oakland falls to 4-9. Michigan State back in action here on Saturday against Northern Illinois. You can see that game right here on BTN. Michigan State at the tail end of the non-conference schedule. Mentioned Northern Illinois is coming up, and then conference play resumes January 2nd here against Northwestern. Tom Izzo, win number 584. He's standing by right now with Sean Morris.
Thanks, Corey. Coach, you know, you talked about after the Green Bay game some of the things you wanted to work on and get after in practice. Did you see as much of that carryover from Sunday to today that you wanted to?
They shot 60% from the 3. No. You know, we did some good things. Just disappointed in our 3, although they hit some too. Give them credit. They can really score it. They got some guys that can shoot it. And we didn't guard the 3 very well. I thought we did a decent job on the rest of it. We ran good. We worked on that hard. But, you know, we got to get better. I just promise you, we got to get better.
Talk about Nick Ward and his willingness and improvement in running the floor. It was on display, especially in the first half. Do you think that going through that draft process, that was one of the things they emphasized with him, as you have as well?
I do, and they emphasize the defense and the rebound, and he's starting to rebound a little better, but he is running because he's in better shape. He lost more weight, and Nick deserves a lot of credit for what he's done. He just got to stay out of foul trouble, not let the ball in the post so much, but those are things we're going to get better at over Christmas now. We improved some on some things. When a team shoots that, it's hard to feel good, but I'll feel decent.
Coach, enjoy the win. Have a great holiday.
Thanks, man. See you, Sean.
Corey, back to you. Thank you.
All right, Sean, and Coach Izzo, we thank him for his time. 99-69 as Michigan State wins here tonight. Spartans are now 10-2 on the year. Coming up next is Northwestern and Oklahoma. For Sean Morris and our entire crew, Corey Provis saying so long. Michigan State wins by 30. Good night from East Lansing. We send you now to Chicago. And once again, here's my call in our studios.